I'm still, after all the fights you've had, in awe of the fact that you do what you do. It's mind blowing to me.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to get, but it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really talk.
When this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off. So, I mean, we have to see. It is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights.
Is this the end of Jake Paul's boxing dream? The boxing world was left in shock as Jake Paul faced a brutal reality check against former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua in Miami. What was supposed to be another milestone in Paul's crossover boxing journey turned into a nightmare in the 6th round, as Joshua's thunderous right hand sent Paul crashing to the canvas, resulting in a devastating knockout. The 28-year-old, who entered the ring eager to prove himself among boxing's elite, now confronts a career-threatening setback, a double jaw fracture that required immediate surgery. Fans and critics alike are questioning whether Paul can recover both physically and mentally from such a punishing defeat. The fight, meant to solidify his status in professional boxing, instead highlighted the harsh realities of the sport and forced Paul to consider the unthinkable: retirement. This moment may very well mark a turning point in his career trajectory.
I won 2 rounds,
For sure,
and then he won 2, and then I got dropped. But yeah, I was doing good. I just think my cardio, just the mental pressure of the big guy, sparring the big people is different than the 10-ounce gloves. So I was feeling his power a lot more. But it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. I can't really.
Are you in pain?
Yeah, but it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's like a baseball in there.
two plates?
4.
Feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just 1.
8 screws. 8 screws.
Wait, all right, I got plate in my head, titanium.
The boxing world is buzzing as reports suggest that Jake Paul is seriously considering retirement after taking an unimaginable beating in the ring. Known for his crossover appeal and fearless approach, Paul faced one of the toughest nights of his career against former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, enduring repeated knockdowns and ultimately suffering a double jaw fracture that required immediate surgery. Sources close to the fighter claim he's grown weary of absorbing such relentless punishment, sparking intense speculation about whether he can continue in the brutal world of professional boxing. The fight not only exposed the stark physical risks Paul faces, but also raised serious questions about his long-term future in the sport, as even a resilient athlete can only endure so much. Fans, pundits, and fellow fighters alike are left wondering if this could mark the shocking end of Jake Paul's boxing journey.
From boxing, I'm getting hit in the face every single day, while I could be playing soccer in Saudi. I'm friends with the Saudis slash football.
Back in the day?
I was on the A team in 7th grade. I have a really good kick. I can run fast, and I'll knock out everyone that with us. Please give me $1 billion.
The legendary promoter didn't shy away from his previous prediction, and after witnessing Jake Paul's brutal knockout, he spoke with a tone of sobering seriousness. Hearn had once warned that this fight could end Paul's rising boxing journey, and the outcome tragically validated his claim. He emphasized that injuries like a double jaw fracture are far more than just physically agonizing. They can wreak havoc mentally, especially for a fighter still learning to navigate the elite level. Recovery isn't just about healing bones. Time away from sparring, the looming fear of re-injury, and lost rhythm can derail even the most promising careers. While Hearn acknowledged Jake's courage and competitive spirit, he was blunt about the unforgiving nature of boxing. Moments like these force fighters to confront a harsh reality. Is risking their body and career for glory truly worth it, or is it time to rethink the fight game entirely?
With you, because when this fight was first announced, you had said something to the effect of this would end Jake Paul's career. After what you saw tonight, do you think that Jake should continue to box, or what do you think the future holds?
Yeah, no, I really take my hat off. So, I mean, we have to see. It is a broken jaw. Those injuries are very difficult to come back from. But as AJ said, that last shot would have knocked out a lot of heavyweights. And I know he went down heavy, but, you know, he was conscious on the floor. And I thought his game plan, although obviously very negative early on, which it had to be, was, you know, was smart at times. And there were times where he held his feet and let his hands go. You know, it was a very one-sided fight. It was always going to be a one-sided fight. But you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually.
After witnessing Anthony Joshua deliver a devastating knockout that left Jake Paul with a double jaw fracture, UFC commentator and podcaster Joe Rogan issued a stern warning about the dangers of continuing in professional boxing. Rogan didn't mince words, stressing that the punishment Paul absorbed in that fight carries consequences far beyond the immediate injury. Facing a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua, Paul endured shots with the force of 10 punches in a single moment, a brutal reminder of how quickly damage can accumulate inside the ring. Rogan highlighted that repeated exposure to this level of punishment can have severe long-term effects, including lasting physical and neurological issues that many fighters struggle with after their careers end. His caution wasn't limited to this one bout. It was a wake-up call to Paul and others about the high price of staying in the sport. Rogan urged Paul to seriously consider whether the glory of boxing outweighs the potential lifelong consequences of enduring such relentless, punishing blows.
That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for like less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember what happened in the Tommy.
He lost a close decision, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, though. He's a good boxer. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
But
and then he started too with like more spectacle-ish fights. People were like, "Oh, this is you." He fought, Nate Robinson, like a basketball player.
Yeah, but the thing is, he knocked Nate Robinson
knocked him
dead,
the fuck out.
and it's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no.
The controversy surrounding Jake Paul took another explosive turn as he reportedly suggested going on a cycle of steroids, aiming to silence critics who have long accused him of using performance-enhancing drugs. According to online chatter and second-hand reports, Paul claimed that showing a visible transformation would prove his past achievements. His physique and power were earned naturally, not chemically enhanced. The remarks immediately divided opinions. Critics slammed the idea as reckless and inflammatory, warning that such a move could damage his reputation and career, while supporters argued Paul is merely fighting back against years of relentless scrutiny over his body and strength. Given the strict anti-doping regulations in professional boxing and the severe consequences tied to PED use, many observers are skeptical and urge caution until Paul clarifies his statements officially. Unverified and controversial, the claim adds yet another layer of drama to an already turbulent chapter in his boxing journey, leaving fans, analysts, and fellow fighters questioning the future of one of the sport's most polarizing figures.
I snort that I'm a cokehead. My rebuttal to that was, I'll tell you what, you can test me randomly for the next 5 years if I can test you randomly for performance enhancing the next 2 years. And I never got a response on that.
This is why Jake Paul is on PEDs. Within this past year, Jake Paul has literally hit a second puberty and aged like 10 years. Furthermore, he has acne and his hairline is receding like crazy. And people like Jake Paul are going to the best skin doctors in the world and probably are taking hair loss products that aren't even approved for the rest of us. Now, I'm not saying that Jake Paul necessarily took a steroid to make him look bigger, but he's definitely taking something that allows him to recover faster. That way he's able to train more and get...
UFC legend Anderson Silva, Carl Froch, Sergey Lepin, and countless analysts have weighed in on the aftermath of Jake Paul's brutal sixth-round knockout by Anthony Joshua, and the opinions couldn't be more divided. Silva praised Jake for his courage, highlighting that stepping into the ring with a former heavyweight world champion demands respect, especially after enduring repeated knockdowns and a double jaw fracture. Lepin echoed this sentiment, noting Paul's heart and ability to rise again despite Joshua's devastating power. On the other hand, Carl Froch slammed the matchup as Clown World, arguing that celebrity crossover bouts erode boxing's credibility and criticized both fighters' performances in certain rounds. Fans debated Paul's survival tactics versus Francis Ngannou's earlier outing, with many pointing out that while Paul lasted 6 rounds, he spent much of the fight avoiding Joshua's range, emphasizing endurance over engagement. Despite the knockout and injuries, some see lessons to be learned, experience gained, and resilience displayed. So, what do you think? Should Jake Paul retire, or is there still a path forward for him in boxing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, share this video with friends, and subscribe for more explosive boxing updates. You won't want to miss what's coming next.